I have to say this. We have top players, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit arrogant. We have a top manager. Again, please don't call me arrogant, because what I'm saying is true. I'm European champion, so I'm not one of.
So in 2018, komi lakwet ni agibar Sharon Otieno, nagi content no ara high profile picture nagi governor nabo, I think Migori County, Okoth Obado, about life triangle. Ago amutu wa much ke kon ruling about that case. Ago Okoth Obado theater 3 theater 2 ko much kenyor guilty. So
tonight we begin in the corridors of justice, where former Migori Governor Gishu Okoth Obado, his former personal assistant Michael Oyamo, and former Migori County Clerk Caspar Obiero have been found guilty of the 2018 murder of university student Sharon Otieno. In a judgment that lasted nearly 4 hours, High Court Judge Cecilia Githua ruled that the prosecution had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt, finding that the three men acted in concert to plan and execute the brutal killing. The judge said she was satisfied that the convicts had orchestrated and carried out an elaborate plan to eliminate the 26-year-old expectant mother. Citizen TV's Ben Kirui followed the proceedings and filed the...
So the accused person, Kogi Muchin, Kinda Sharon, bowling in, ago King one only getting the ball, Kogi Fosen, Okoth Obado, Sharon, terminating the pregnancy. After Kogi, Koga 30K for facilitating the abortion. So after that time, but after some time, ko change mind awanam ko pressure and Sharon Otieno ko stomo ananda. Awo watch 30K. But Sharon ko giesha awate ko mind ko stomo ananda wo ki some demands. Ki go ki mega sirgasite. Ki tiki gote agin kelchigari. So after a moment ko igayan in Okoth Obado, Korea Tepta, Pivada Jola, the Alabanet, I would take it on. So we may have taken back a buying time so that co facilitated the mother charges. From the mother, Kimi Nation made a journalist, Nigi Kia Niga Gurin, Sharon Otieno, Nigi Mego, exposing the governor, Kulikitinda morning, Agam. Kinda love affair with him. So after a moment, go image ke ko guragne te side ko Chris Obado, the journalist. Ago imu kilangari journalist. So gingo mingari journalist. Ko gi to nilangari tawasari yamba abduction to mi tenga tekate. But for this time, go into the side nebo lango in the back seat. The journalist. So after a moment, Korean journalist called never my interview now. Mind the interview, but ki the Kerala only abducted. So after the moment, Korea carried about 12 and carried carried. So after 2 days, can you report of Sharon livelessly whatever? So that was the case, but amutugo mi ruling, I'm actually ruling down.
For more than 3 hours, High Court Judge Cecilia Githua methodically delivered a judgment, page after page, in the murder trial of Sharon Otieno, drawing the curtain on an 8-year legal odyssey and a long, painful quest for justice by Sharon's family.
Each accused is accordingly convicted under Section 322.
In her ruling, Justice Githua found that the prosecution had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt, concluding that former Migori Governor Gishu Okoth Obado, his aide Michael Oyamo, and Migori County Clerk Caspar Obiero conspired planned and carried out the murder of Sharon Otieno in September 2018, with each playing a specific role in the killing.
I consequently find each accused person guilty of the offence of murder, contrary to Section 203 of the Penal Code, as charged in Count 1.
Justice Githua, in her judgment, held that the prosecution had successfully established both the motive and the execution of the murder, finding that the evidence presented left no doubt as to the accused person's involvement in the crime.
The accused persons acted in concert, jointly with others not before the court, pursuant to a common design, each performing a distinct role in furtherance of a criminal enterprise that resulted in the death of the late Sharon.
The court found that Obado was the mastermind and financier of the murder plot. Oyamo played a central role in orchestrating its execution, while Obiero assisted in covering up the crime. Justice Githua ruled that their coordinated actions demonstrated a common intention to eliminate Sharon Otieno.
The second accused facilitated execution, where the third accused ensured logistical support and concealment to avoid detection of the offence. Participation, premeditation, and intention to execute their common intention.
The judge further ruled that Obado's absence from Migori County on the night Sharon Otieno was killed did not exonerate him. Justice Githua held that despite being in Nairobi between September 3rd and 4th, 2018, the evidence showed he remained actively involved in planning and facilitating the murder. She further noted that the evidence pointed to efforts by Obado to conceal his relationship with Sharon, who was carrying his child at the time of her death, a factor the court found to be central to the motive behind the killing.
The first accused had a very strong motive to unlawfully end Sharon's life, to ensure that his illicit affair with her was not widely publicized through the print media, in order to save himself from possible public embarrassment and reputational harm.
Following the conviction, the court revoked the bond terms that had been granted to the three accused persons and ordered that they remain in custody pending sentencing. Justice Githua directed that sentencing will be informed by a probation report and a victim impact assessment report to be filed before the court. They say the wheels of justice turn slowly but grind exceedingly fine. 8 years after the brutal murder of Sharon Otieno, justice has finally caught up with those found responsible. The court is set to give directions on the sentencing date on August 13th, bringing the long-running case a step closer to its conclusion. Ben Kiroi, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
So I think Nini 20s, that is somehow mid-40s, kumi high libido, but the moment guy is 50s, 60s, libido one kobosak. I go from the moment ke relative Obado go ki married, and if you know, younger match bila CD. Kuna mamoja nini ngoni na the outcome kola kwet. So from the moment, from that time kia jo waishen Chris Obado CD, but so preventing this embarrassment. But anyway, kituma cheo mami inte muame asle report and legi wa ruling in I think 2 weeks legi wa ruling at sentence. I remember the first time quindi che era a high profile picture in Kenya. From the moment the first president, the first politician, Okoth Obado kwenye chela, kimi political so aimu John Waluke MP ni 67 years in 2020 among fraud and fraudulent payment from National Serial and Produce Board in Kenya. So at least Sharon won justice. Though for taking long time, as we know, justice in Kenya charge in Kenya, ruling in Kenya won't take any time. At least for your justice. Also, Grace Obado go already go probably chances to go care or shan go high. Amun me Ryan and Lady. We don't give meeting on them. Go now on the charge we don't give. So you see go free. But anyway, at least when your justice Sharon, that's probably the good of Kenya. For a certain example and some other politicians. You cannot get away with anything. Though out the high profile, even at the high profile politician, also I'm accusing the government for using of goons in Kenya. After a moment, accusing DCP party leader will pushing government goons, come I check the government will pushing goons. After a moment, to go much on a lal in honest mas Kipchumba, interior CS about this story. I'm a slow report and I report and about this Goonism in Kenya.
Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has downplayed the extent of Goonism in the country, insisting the problem has been exaggerated for political reasons. He, however, ordered police to launch a ruthless crackdown on criminal gangs, including politicians behind their formation and financing. Murkomen spoke as he launched a new biometric system that will cut the processing time for police clearance certificates from 14 days to less than 24 hours. Willie Lusige reports.
As the country continues to grapple with goon-related violence, Interior Cabinet Secretary Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen dismissed claims that the problem is widespread, insisting it has been exaggerated for political reasons.
This issue of goons and goonism is not as bad as being exaggerated. It's actually hyped around politics and politicians. And all these politicians have had bouncers, bodyguards, so-called bodyguards in quotes, that have from time to time get converted to goons.
He accused politicians of creating and financing criminal gangs for their own political interest. Murkomen also claimed that some religious leaders had initially defended suspected goons arrested during the 2024 and 2025 anti-government protest, but have now turned around and are now calling for tougher action against criminal gangs.
Bishops came out in public. They took those attackers, some of the goons, to their churches, paraded them, and they said, we want to protect our children.
He ordered police to deal firmly with the criminal gangs and goons using all lawful means, saying Kenyans have made it clear they want goonism brought to an end.
Now I'm happy that the bishops have come, they have turned around. They want goons to be dealt with. The fear the police had that if they deal with these criminals, they don't have public support, is now behind us. Deal with these goons ruthlessly.
Murkomen's.
So from I'm deal with the goons ruthlessly. Our PS rainbow no more lucky work accusing Amutko Cyprian is Nyakunda Baboino. Amungele facilitated a good send Kisumu Poison good send Kisumu Quatakan Linda Mananji. I want to call the Murkomen and deal with goons ruthlessly. I want this a strong statement because the police officers go already go supporting the executive. I will now deal with the goons ruthlessly with the police will be more tougher. I want a dangerous statement because mostly from any time and I want me a goon so somehow but answer Kwangusha one by one in Kenya. About that state of the government now in Kenya. So getara America's komya mutaki Jackson Mandago kotini amune in accusation to scandal Finland. I was somehow nigi face nigi that case ki juniors matuko ngalala about that court in Amoriana is led ki settlement of court and in outside court kiware no Masitaros. So I'm actually going to know ruling nebo Senator Mandago.
Uasin Gishu Senator Jackson Mandago and his co-accused Meshach Rono and Joshua Lele have been acquitted in the 1.1 billion shillings Uasin Gishu scholarship program case. Senior Principal Magistrate Alois Ndege dismissed all 10 charges against the three, including conspiracy to commit a felony, abuse of office and forgery. Marianne Nyambura reports.
The mood inside the Nakuru courtroom shifted dramatically from anxious silence to celebration. Moments after Senior Principal Magistrate Alois Ndege delivered his verdict, supporters who had sat through the 2.5-hour judgment erupted in cheers, song and applause as Senator Jackson Mandago, Meshach Rono and Joshua Lele were acquitted.
I thus do hereby dismiss all the charges against the accused persons pursuant to the provision of Section 210 of the Criminal Procedure Code and consequently acquit all of them of the offences of conspiracy to commit a felony, stealing, abuse of office and forgery, so all their cash bills to be returned back to them.
Magistrate Ndege cleared the three of all charges in a case in which they had been accused of misappropriating 1.1 billion shillings under the Uasin Gishu Finland education program between March 2021 and 2022. The magistrate ruled that the prosecution had failed to prove its case, citing insufficient evidence to sustain the charges against the accused persons.
As to count 8, I find no evidence standard to suggest that the third accused seconded the county staff to the trust hearing. It was unanimous from all the witnesses hearing that the program hearing was being operated at the departmental level. Any document produced hearing purporting any appointment to this office was not forensically examined to prove its authenticity. This count therefore fails for lack of proof.
Speaking shortly after the acquittal, Senator Mandago called on the Uasin Gishu County government to revive the scholarship program, saying it had benefited many residents and should continue.
I therefore want to urge the beneficiaries who know themselves and who know they benefited from the program and who are supported and they are enjoying the benefits of the program, that they should speak to their conscience and refund the money to the trust so that those parents who are suffering out there can get their money.
A total of 138 witnesses, including parents and students affected by the program, testified during the trial. Senator Mandago, Meshach Rono and Joshua Lele were first arraigned in 2023, marking the start of a case that has drawn significant public interest. Marianne Nyambura, Citizen TV.
Finland. Ago from the this deal getting 1.1 billion ko revenue kecha. So magoi ile imuji megan an assumption ile ko imuji yoita revenue and in court in ruling in favor of this Jackson Mandago. Ako ko imuch ko make a comment Sudi about this ruling again this case. Ako ko mo basir and this social media basir gole. The true parent had already paid. I was telling Mandago to fanya harambe but akachifanya mchuaji and refused. The money has been used on lawyers and kuhonga magistrate could have paid hata nusu ya hiyo pesa. The case has told and the one with influence has benefited because mnyonge ana haki. But I'm standing with his parents and they are arrest in justice. Ni sawa Mungu atasimama na wazazi. So that the comment no go in Sudi about the case about Mandago. So what's your take about this case no Mandago and go how the government will be dealing with the Goonism in Kenya. So as we say, kama kawa, like, subscribe, hit the notification bar, tell a friend to tell a friend.